Hey folks, welcome back to Law Creations. Just wanted to share with you guys my newest small little display for a Jada Toys Dracula figure. I'll show you that particular figure in a minute. First I want to say I appreciate everybody's feedback and input into my studio disaster little video that I showed you. I've been making some changes and I appreciate everybody's input, and I really do. And a lot of it I'm going to start implementing into my, especially clean as I go. And that's what I really particularly really need to do, because I'm organized in regards to my tools and my supplies. It's just as I go along and as I work, I just accumulate a whole bunch of stuff in my work area. So I will clean as I go. And thank you so much for your input and all your encouragement. So this is my newest display. This particular piece, I saw a Dracula resin kit on Google, and it inspired me to create this piece. It's heavily inspired by that particular resin model, Diorama. And I changed quite a few things up, and I just, especially the window, and I just wanted to have a home for this particular Jada Toys figure. And it's actually a really awesome figure, as if you can't tell just by I mean, is it perfect? No, but it definitely is my first Dracula figure that I've owned, and I know NECA is coming out with one which I'll purchase. But in the meantime, this one's pretty awesome, and I made this particular display for myself. The last couple of dioramas I sold, I didn't really have space or room for them. But this particular piece will be displayed on my top shelf up here, and for this particular. And that's the beauty of this hobby is, I mean, you can make pieces you sell, or you can make pieces that that you just enjoy for yourself for certain figures. Because it does enhance your figures. It does giving them an environment that looks realistic, and it does enhance it. So let's take a look at the diorama. So as you folks know, I've been 3D printing, so I'll show you some of those 3D prints. This one here is like a chalice that I 3D printed. The skull was glued on, so that wasn't 3D printed. But I took some Citadel blood for the blood god, some Citadel paint and some UV resin, and I just gave it an impression of some blood dripping down a chalice with a skull attached to it. This originally was going to be a light fixture, so you could either put it on the wall as a torch, you can put it here, and I 3D printed it to run wires through. This was a mistake. I'm not sure why that showed up there, but this here was intentional, so I can run an LED wiring up and through. All this is hollow right up to here, and if you wanted to, you could run an LED into there and hide the wiring and the battery pack. So this one was a lot of fun to make. I've been making everything in Tinkercad because Blender 3D I'm not very good at, and Tinkercad is very user-friendly, although limited. But for some of my purposes, I'm using them in my pieces. I'm trying maybe to build up something and maybe open an Etsy store or sell. But this is a torch. I may have showed you this, but this is a larger size style torch, and it's hollow, and you can always, it drills through very easy, so you can add like an attachment. And if you saw my last diorama quickly, I didn't get to do a review on it before I shipped it out, but if you go back to my last video, you see this particular torch being used. So it does display nicely. That's for probably 1/12, because, well, yeah, 1/12, because if you put that in a 3 3/4 inch, it might be a little bit too big. This here is also a torch I designed. and it would go as such, which can be for 1/12 or anything like that. So yeah, so these are some fail prints of that chalice or that I was showing you. It just didn't. I mean, I can still use it, but it's just smaller. That's all. And I would just have to fill in that hole there. But that's about it. I work on a little grate that I did in Tinkercad. Probably could make it a little bit larger and a little bit thicker. It's rather thin, but that's okay. That it would just go into the foam as a grate, and it would serve a purpose. Definitely just for a 3 3/4 inch. But in Cura, you can always go in and resize it for 1/12 scale. So that's what I've been doing with my 3D print. I'm just trying to make and build little pieces that I can put into my dioramas, and this is a perfect instance. Like this window here was 3D printed, and I did my stained glass again with just I used some folk art frosted glass medium, and then when all that dried, I went in with some airbrush colors, and I tried watercolor, but watercolor leaves a lot of streaks. And so I just stuck with the airbrush. This is a torch I made a long time ago, but never really used it. So I know it's a blue torch, but it's a little something different. And I just wanted to implement it into this particular piece. And it looks okay. It's for my liking. It's going to go on my shelf. So, I mean, I like it a lot. And let's see. Everything was just carved out, and I got the bat that came with the particular Jada Toys Dracula. But just to give you an up close, I used a whole bunch of different weathering. Let me turn my light on so you guys can have a more appreciation for the weathering that's on there, if you can see it. But yeah. I used a lot of AK weathering pencils. Everything was just carved, and I went over it with a texture to give it some good dry brushing. The floor, I put some stained glass where the window broke, and like I said, I have the chalice, which is way over here. So this is a little prop you can use in it. But yeah, I just took my time on this one. I probably could finish it quicker, but like I always tell you guys, I enjoy the process of diorama making. I do it for therapy. I do it to sell is secondary, and I still take my time but I enjoy the process. I enjoy learning new things. I enjoy just the whole process involved, from carving the foam to priming to painting to adding little details. And if you can see the back here, the window was way too clean. I used an acrylic sheet. Let me show you a piece that I had broken. It's this pretty thick acrylic that I had used. And if I can let me turn it around. So in the back, I gave it a brown wash in the back. So it's a little bit more, not so bright, a little more diluted. So that's what I went ahead and did. And this is just a little battery pack that I'll make a little slot for. And yeah, so I've been really enjoying just trying different things. And if I can encourage you guys, build for you and enjoy your own diorama process. And with practice, you get better. I have to say, from my first diorama, I've come a long way, but I still have a long way to go until I can, constantly learn, constantly make a better display than I did yesterday. So, yeah, if I can just encourage you guys, give it all a shot, and just let your creativity flow, and give your figures a home in dioramas. So you guys take care. I appreciate yous, and please like, please subscribe, and you guys have a good work week. Take care.